I worked at the Erwin Center.
Thanks, Vic. Thanks for your call.
Thanks to the Erwin Center for the hospitality to all the show. I know Daniel got to enjoy Roger Waters last week, and Dale and I got to enjoy some Tom Petty, and those were both fantastic shows. And we've had a very nice relationship with the Erwin Center. And that's probably part of it is because I worked there from 82 to 86, I think I said yesterday, and I had a lot of that used to be my job, was to set up. One of my jobs was to set up the backstage experience for winners and stuff like that, and it wasn't always
full backstage experience.
It wasn't always. What a lot of people don't know about the concert business or the arena business is that most of the time the band is out the door at the end of a show before the first person hits the exit. Right. Like they have it down where like the bus is pointed out the door. They jump in, they're gone, they're on the road before traffic even builds up. There's not a lot of backstage parties in the day. Now, I used to go to some sweet backstage parties, and I will say that the Van Halen always threw the best backstage parties. I mean, they would bring a whole party vibe. I mean, they had tables of food. In the contract, there was also there was something in the rider where there was always like a gross of condoms, lube, Jack Daniels, the M&Ms, which you've heard about, and they had this big touring trunk or whatever, touring case that was about 6 feet tall, maybe 6 feet across, with wheels and everything. And they would open that up they would pick a room in the back of the Erwin Center to throw the party after the show, and they would open up this big locker thing, and it had all the sound equipment, all the DJ equipment. Nice. And some lights and stuff that they could turn any room into a backstage into a party room. And they would literally stay after the show and party with winners and their select few. And we all know the Van Halen grid system, right?
No.
You know what the grid system is?
I don't know.
Well, you know that rock stars occasionally enjoy the company of young ladies.
Well, yeah.
Right? Yeah. Well, Van Halen was no exception.
Right,
And now here's the deal. Every arena has a different seating chart. In other words, Section 1 at the Reunion Arena may not be the same as Section 1 at the Erwin Center.
Correct.
So if David Lee Roth is scanning the crowd during Hot for Teacher, and he sees a young lady that he might like to meet or enjoy later, he couldn't really give his roadies a seat number or a section number to go retrieve the young lady.
That's all it would take is a summon.
So they would have a...
Absolutely.
So they would have
Look at you. Look at you. So you're telling me if a guy was singing in a band and he looked down at you and said, "You," now, you wouldn't be like, "Oh, okay."
I did that for Joey Fatone.
So I don't know if
You nailed Joey Fatone?
No, but he wanted to see my boobies, and he pulled me up from the crowd and brought me back.
All right, can we get to that? Let me finish explaining the grid system to the uninitiated. So I don't know if Van Halen invented this from all the shows, and I saw hundreds of shows in the day. They're the first ones that I knew that used it. But they had what they called the grid system. So it was an imaginary template or an imaginary grid that they put over any crowd, where B1 was always the same location.
Sure.
Or a general location.
Sure, I get it.
Or, Yeah. Right. So they would just go to their roadies and call out the coordinates, and that's how the staff knew where to go to get the
There's power there.
That's
the
crazy.
girls.
Let's flesh out the Van Halen story a little more. Kevin's got some more information for us. Kevin, Van Halen.
Hey, what's up?
Guys.
You're on the air.
Hey, I actually wrote a book, a biography on Eddie Van Halen. So.
Oh, you did?
I know and this is Kevin from the old band Steamroller, Bob.
Oh, hey man, how you doing, Kev? What are you guys still playing occasional stuff, or you retired?
We're pretty much retired, but we play occasionally. And in fact, on May 20th, I guess next weekend, we're headlining the Steamboat Reunion show.
Oh, cool, man.
I didn't even know that was happening.
There was a day where Steamroller was like my number one band. Like, remember you would come play birthday parties for me here on the show because I would request you guys. I mean, you guys were just a tight rock and roll outfit.
Yeah, I think I have probably 24 cassette tapes of times that we were on the show.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm sorry those days are gone. But it's all part of this blow and go radio that we're doing.
Well, it was just hilarious that
blow and go.
You guys would always try to make us play acoustic, and we were like, we are not an acoustic band, and we started bringing our electric guitars and drums and everything. And it's totally transformed.
So tell us.
Then all the other bands wanted to bring their electric stuff, and you guys are like, no. But anyways, yeah, man, I ended up writing a book on Eddie Van Halen.
Cool. Authorized or unauthorized? How does that work out?
It's unauthorized.
Did you have any cooperation from the family or him, or did you just have to write it?
I had cooperation from a few various people, but otherwise, he is really hard to get to.
Yeah.
He's really, really, really hard to get to. He's very, very private.
So give us some more Van Halen myths or facts.
Here's the grid story. The grid story is even better.
Okay.
Because, what he would do is he would say, red right, 7 rows back, yellow T-shirt.
Right.
Okay. So they would go, and usually, of course, these girls were there with their boyfriends, right?
Right.
So they would give a pass to the girl, and they would give a pass to the guy, and they would just be all psyched and everything. So then when the show ended, they said, okay, everyone that has a pass, come and sit in section 101.
That's right. After the show, they would sit, everybody would leave the arena, and if you had a pass, you would be in a little holding area, most of the time in the arena there, right? In the lower level. Right.
So slowly, they'd pull off, like, kind of these distractions or whatever, and they would come down and they would tap the boyfriends on the shoulder. And they would say, hey, come up here, we got something special for you or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they kicked the boyfriends out of the venue and brought all the remaining girlfriends backstage. So not only did they call out girls from the crowd,
right?
They thinned out their boyfriends and then let them backstage. So, yeah, and you must have seen them in '82 and '84. That's when I know when they played the Erwin Center for Diver Down in 1984.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of. In fact, there's a picture, and it may even be on my Facebook page somewhere of me and a couple of other jocks from the station, but Eddie Van Halen's putting his cigarette out in my hair. I didn't realize till I saw the picture because he was standing behind me.
Nice.
But that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's they were the one band that really. I'm not a huge Van Halen fan. I certainly have respect, and I do have some favorite songs, but they're the one band that really did the rock and roll thing to the max, right? Most bands out the door, onto the bus, onto the plane, out of town before you even, hit the highway. And these,
I also totally come from that standpoint of, Van Halen without David Lee Roth doesn't exist. So.
Right.
So I'm really psyched, looking forward to the shows. And
all right, plug your reunion show one more time, man. It's so good to hear from you.
Hey, absolutely. Steamboat Reunion Show. They've been going on for about 10 years now. It's at Threadgills on Sunday the 20th. And it is, I can't even begin to list off the names of the other bands that are playing. I would hate to leave someone out, but
cool.
It is absolutely the
And Danny's going to be there. Everybody's going to be there.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Crooks and his crooks.
Danny's shooting to drop 30 pounds. He's like
between now and then.
Yeah, well, he wants to be his same weight that he was. When
my advice to him is to do some road work, as they say.
All right, well, Bob, take it easy.
All right, man. Good hearing from you. Thanks for that Van Halen story. Thanks for making my story even better. Thank you.
Rock and roll.
Take it easy.
Thank you, man. It's good to talk to you again.